Değerli Nokta TV izleyenleri, hepiniz Senin Yolculuğunun yeni bir bölümüne daha hoş geldiniz. Biliyorsunuz geçen hafta Olga ve Daniel'la beraberdik. Aslında geçen hafta da söylediğim gibi önümüzdeki birkaç hafta ve birkaç bölüm boyunca yabancı artistleri ağırlayacaktık. Bunun için de Helikon'dan Orhan Bey'e çok teşekkür ederiz. Bu bize yardımcı olduğu, sanatçılarla iletişimimize geçmekte bize yardımcı olduğu için. Bugün sizlerle beraber Leon'u ağırlıyoruz. Leon aslında İranlı bir hem ressam hem de bir yazar. Kendisi aslında bir önceki bölümdeki gibi İranlı bir yazar ve ressam olarak Türkiye'de ne hissediyor ve kendi sanatı üzerine onunla konuşacağız. Gene bir önceki bölümdeki gibi altyazıları açmayı unutmayın. Aynı şekilde bu bölümün içerisine de yerleştirilmiş şekilde altyazımız bulunacak. Bundan sonra programımızın devamı İngilizce şekilde devam edecektir. Şimdiden çok mükemmel olmayan ama bence programı sunmak için yeterli olan İngilizcemden dolayı sizlerden af diliyorum ve hep beraber programa geçip Leon'a hoş geldin diyelim. So Leon, you are welcome and we are too much appreciate to be here, and can you introduce yourself? Who is Leon and who are you?
Okay, first of all, hello, my name is Leon. I am a writer and also I am a painter. I can say I'm an artist then, and I am 30 years old, and I live in
30
Iran.
years old?
30 years old, yeah.
Come, 30 years
Yeah.
old? I can't believe this. After the program, I want to show your ID. by the
Okay,
way.
I will show it to you
Okay,
because,
okay.
yeah. So I mostly write about fantasy, and I mean I write fantasy books and novels, historical, and I have some novels in English, and but also my hobby and I can say my passion is painting as well.
Okay, that's perfect. So can you tell your story? Where did you born and how did you teach? How can I say? How did you decide to be a writer? And what's your story in your life?
Since my childhood, I was very interested in art, and I was making handcrafts. I can say I was a crafty guy, and I was making lots of things at home, and also I was painting lots of things, drawing, sketching, and once I learned to write, I started writing. So I think since my childhood, because I was an alone person, so I started painting or I started drawing just to get away from the loneliness. So and also, you know, we are not living in a perfect world, and I think I was born as a perfectionist. So what I was seeing around me, it wasn't what I liked. So I can say I sheltered, I refuged to the art to feel better.
Yeah, I think you are the most, how can I say, this is our 24th episodes in this program, and I asked all of these guests why you are chose this way, and I never heard before. I refuse from art. I think you are a writer. I actually I don't need to be shocked, but the perfect term, I think.
Thank you.
So, you know, we have some norms in the global, because how can I say, the real artists cannot make too much money, and they actually needs to be money if you want to be continue in artist's life. So how can you make money? Did you make in art, or do you have any other jobs for your life?
I studied graphic art, and you know, graphic is art, but also it is for market and advertisement. So I used to work as a graphic artist. I used to get some orders from the other people, like freelancing also, and with that I could make money. But it is not a definite way to work actually. So I needed another job. So here I am an English teacher right now, and this is my job right now. I can say now I am an English teacher, and my incomes come from that field. But in general, I used to work as a graphic artist as well, and take some orders, some book covers and stuff, photography also, and this is.
Yeah. So if you make some money for your art with your art, so your art still be a art or just a fabric things? What do you think about this? So the main question is, the real artists can be sell this own art. For example, for me, if you are an artist, you need to be try to tell something the human in your people. Sometimes it just not in your people, just the world, just the universe. So if somebody wants to buy your art, this art still be an art or needs to be changed something?
It depends on. If, for example, I have my own style, I have my own technique, okay, I do it to enjoy it. And as I said, I do it to escape my reality maybe. And if I do something and somebody pays me money or, I don't know, they ask me to do something for them, if it is in my own style and technique, it's right. But if they give me money for example, something like propaganda or something like that, that I don't believe in it naturally, so I wouldn't do that, even for money.
So you are told this too much. You are start to art to escape your reality, and you are start to make your own shelter to bad guys for the planet. So how can you say this? Are you gonna be a danger in real life? So how can I say? You are started in art because you want to be free, and you started art because you are alone. If you are in crowd peoples, and how can I say, if you are participant something, and if you are not alone, did you again start the art, or the artists needs to be alone if they start to art?
I understand. It is about the environment. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe if I was in another environment, maybe I would turn up to another thing. But this way, I think my situation, my environment made me the person who am I today.
Okay. So you are writing some fantasy things, and also you are painting, but the painting is your hobby. I understand everything. And how can I say, how can you decide to paint something, and what's your starting emotion? How can you, if Leon start a paint, how is Leon feels?
For the things, for example, especially for the painting, I usually just start randomly, just like sometimes I have stories in my mind. I mean, as I said, the main thing for me is the storytelling. So sometimes I have some imagination or something. And why I prefer writing than painting? Why? Because when I start thinking about something, when I have an opinion, when I have a thought, okay, painting itself, you should spend lots of hours to just make one scene, right? It can tell a story, but again, lots of people, they might understand differently. So I thought that also writing, it is easier, and you can give a whole scenario to your audience. That's why I think it is easier for me to write rather than painting something. When I want to start painting, I usually have this scenario, or I have a story, and I say just like a picture from a backstage or some movies. You have some pictures, but it is not the whole story. It's just the scene. It's just the plot. So it's not the plot, okay? It's just the scene. And that's why I like that kind of thing in painting. I imagine something, and at that moment, I see that as a scene.
So actually, you don't need a real place if you want to make your art. If you have a phone, if you have a book or pencil, you can write something. And if you have a laptop, you can write anywhere to anything if you want.
Yeah.
For example, if you make some sculpture, you need to be a marble or clay, but you don't need to. So also you made your art in Turkey right now for this exhibition. Sometimes you make your art to other countries. What's the difference of make some different places, and also how did you feel make your arts in Turkey?
Let's say my opinion and my perspective hasn't changed in any places, because I myself, as a person who was born in Iran, in Tehran, when I was a child, I used to have interaction with our relatives in America. So I can say like both cultures were very. I was always comparing myself to the life that my cousins have, or the things that American people have, and I was comparing this. When you don't have any idea that what's around the world, you are not comparing yourself. You don't understand the difference. You don't want things. Okay, but when you are, for example, in some places that everything is limited, but you know that there is some freedom, like in other countries, so you start comparing yourself, and it makes you sad more and more. And you know that some people out there, they have this, but you, for any reason, you can't have that. So that's why I wanted to take myself out of this situation, but I couldn't. And I can say most of my philosophy, let's say, it comes from what I lived in Iran and that compression. And so when I was a child, I wanted to have that. I couldn't, so I imagined it and I tried to depict it somehow. That's how it worked. My style, it developed like, I can say, somehow nihilism. Okay, I grew up as a nihilist with depression, like many of young people in Iran, just like my friends. Lots of them, they have some problems. They were limited. They couldn't have enough freedom to talk to become what they want, to do what they want. That's why most of our my generation, my older than me in this era, let's say, we are all struggling with depression. That's why most of my artwork is very, very dark and also gothic-like.
So I understand. So you are 30 years old. I don't believe it right now, but is it okay? So your childhood, it's before the 20 years ago. Iran is still like this, or something is changed?
It has always been like this. I mean, but nobody was aware about it, because you know the media and stuff always they deceive people like how life is, and it was better. I mean, it wasn't that much brutal as it is right now, but still we didn't have our freedom. We didn't have lots of things that we wanted to have. For example, we couldn't go anywhere we want. It's like that. So we didn't have much freedom to become what we really want to be.
And after all of these bad things, you're gonna be an artist because you need to tell your story, and you feel like, okay, I live in here, but nobody knows me. I try to struggle. I have too much struggle things. I cannot visit somewhere, and I cannot found my hobbies because too much bad things in here. Also, if you don't have any hobbies, if you go just going out, everyone is depressed, so you cannot find a free place in Iran. So how can I say, did you come before Turkey? This is your first time?
No, it is not my first time. The first time I came here, it was 2006. We came here to get a visa for America. And first I went to Ankara, and after we went to Istanbul. It was a good trip. I was about 11 years old, I think.
I ask this question because of it. I'm 23 years old, and in my generation, too much depressed in our country also. How can I say, we don't have a really good economy. We are under the normal, so sometimes we cannot found to how can I say, if some young man wants to go some theater or the cinema, they cannot afford, they cannot pay these things, so they cannot live, so they cannot try to think about the theater, think about the cinema, because they cannot find any food. If you are a university, and if you are a student, and if you just don't work to anywhere, and if you just want to be a student, you cannot, because sometimes economy not gives this freedom, and you cannot find with your wallet, it's always is empty and you cannot feel free. So and you're in 30 years old and you are older than me, and how can I say, it's like a mirror. When I talk to you, you are past something. Maybe you cannot pass, I don't know, this is your life. But do you have any recommendation, do you have any advice for like this depressed generation?
I don't know if I had it, I would do it myself. I mean, the only thing that some of us we could do, me and my generation, my friends, we just found some way to just get out of that country, because at that moment when I left that country, there weren't any revolution, there weren't anything happening, so we didn't have any much freedom, we didn't have any options to do something for that country. So we just, I'm sorry for that. I mean, because most of us, we can say we fled that country. We fled that country because we had to escape, because it is our, we are born like once. Okay, I believe in this. And that's why I think like you should do, if you cannot do something big, at least do something for yourself. Okay, and try to use the life that you have. It's like that.
So how can I say, sometimes our generation is in Turkey, they too much emotional. So sometimes, how can I say, you saw different countries, depressed generation. Can you compare Iran and Turkey? Do you think the Turkey generation is in depressed, or you can tell this, okay guys, this is not depressed country, this is not like that, you guys need to be calm and you can find different solution? Can you compare?
Actually, Turkey is much more has much more freedom than Iran. I mean, when the young people, they protest against something, they are not being shot. Okay, this is a big deal. Why? Because it means that you still maybe not free to protest, yes, but at least you know that if you go and protest against something, you're not going to be shot that much.
Okay.
And that's why I think Turkish people, they have much more opportunity to stay and get things better. Okay, because the freedom in Turkey is much more than Iran's, and I think just live your life. It is just like in this Iran, no place in this not universe, let's say on Earth, is just like a safe or happy place right now. So the whole world is just like a chaos right now, and my thing is like in the past, our families, they only had some one wish, like to get married, to have children, to have a house, to have a car. For our generation, and recently in Turkey, I can see that the money that you saved, you work for the next year, it is not that much valuable. I mean, the most important thing that has made this generation a bit, I can say, more depressed, more hopeless, more disappointed, is this, that you work hard, but you don't get anything in the end. So I myself, I am not a rich person, okay, but the money my income, let's say, I just said, what can I do with this? Because saving doesn't work anymore. I cannot buy a car with it, I cannot buy a house by saving. So I just said the only option that I have right now is just traveling. That's why I traveled most of the places. The money that I save, what should I do? I'm young right now. So as I said, not many people, they like traveling, but for the people who like traveling, I think it is a good solution. Until you're young, at least you have this option to just travel and explore things or discover new things. It would make you feel better and make you, I don't know, it'll be a little bit energetic. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so how can I say? Do you have any advice if someone wants to start writing? Because how can I say? I can remember when I was a high school, I have too much emotion in myself because I leave my family and I go to dormitory. So I'm too much alone here because I thinking about, okay, nobody understand me because I have a little heart and everyone is break that. So I don't want to be a friends with them. I just write something and I don't know any techniques or anything. But in these days, I can understand my real emotion I can found in these high school writings. Because if today I want to write something, in my brain it works too much techniques. Okay, I need to be short because the audience, the readers gonna be bored. Okay, I need to cut here or I need to add something this. So do you think the painting or the writing something have a technique or needs to be come in your heart?
Of course, it has some techniques. If you're looking at it as a market or something, of course, it has some techniques and it has some rules that it makes it more pleasant, actually. I'm not against all rules, actually, and I think there should be some rules to give us a frame of something to make things better, okay? But some people, they write from their heart. Like, you don't need special thing to have it. I mean, you need to just, if you just want to write it for yourself, just let it go, just write everything you want. So if it is just for your feeling, just do whatever you want. There is nothing that you should feel limited for that. But I myself, for marketing, a part of it comes from my heart, a part of it should go inside that frame. So all people most of the people that are interested to this genre can enjoy this as well.
Okay, I understand. So we don't have too much time actually in these episodes. So I have many questions of you, but my last question is, we are talking too much to politics and we are too much talking to how to be an artist in this world. But you need to describe yourself. So what's your subjects of your work and how did you start if you make something?
The thing is, mostly my technique is like, because I got interested into Gothic art, and as I said, most of us, we are struggling with depression and thinking beyond that. Also, just like some of my friends and some of the young people that live in Iran, as far as I have asked from many of people in the same generation, they said like, they wish for that. That's why, in general, since my adolescence, I got interested into skulls. Also, it is related to the American culture as well, because when teenagers, they put on lots of skull things to look good and cool. So I got interested in skulls. That's why most of the times I am painting lots of skeletons and also lots of Gothic art and lots of Gothic symbols, let's say, dark things and this kind of subjects and topics. Because I also believe that the skeleton is a very beautiful subject to paint, because it shows that how similar are creatures. Like when you are painting a cat, when you are painting a dog, skeletons, I mean, you can understand how close are the skeleton and the structure of all creatures are.
Thank you for coming here, and thank you for the participant to be here. So
my pleasure.
And the last question.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question.
Okay.
Do you think, when did you come Turkey this time, the participant to be any TV program show?
Actually, no, I never expected something like this.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
And everything is okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, if you
I'm
have any
fine.
last words for our viewers, and the microphone is on you.
No, I think I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you for
I
the
can
journey.
say just thank you for watching us and listening to this. Is it podcast?
No.
Thank you for watching this interview, and it was my pleasure to talk to you. And also, I feel so happy to be here.
Thank you.
And yeah, just live your life and try to be
Don't think too
happy.
much.
Yeah, just
We
try
think-
to pass it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Değerli izleyiciler, bugün Leon'la beraber aslında gene bir önceki bölümdeki gibi farklı milletlerde ve farklı ülkelerde doğmuş insanlar nasıl sanatçı oluyorlar ve bu sanatçı yolculukları nasıl ilerliyor? Bunun hakkında konuşmuş olduk. Biliyorsunuz daha önce yazarları da ağırladık, daha önce ressamları da burada ağırladık. Ama benim kendim şahsi olarak fark ettiğim farklardan bir tanesi, kültürler değiştikçe İnsanlar kendi yaşadıkları bireysel sıkıntılar üzerinden sanatlarını icra etmeye devam ediyorlar. Daha önceden Hagop Bey'i ağırlamıştık biliyorsunuz. Hagop Bey'in bütün yolculuğu aslında bir babasının hikayesi üzerinden var olma çabasıydı. Fakat burada olay tamamen bambaşka bir yere doğru evrildi. Umarım bizi dinlediğiniz için ve bu sohbetten memnun kalmışsınızdır. Ve unutmayın, sanatçı olmak demek ve sanatla ilgilenmek demek her zaman depresyonda olmak demek değildir. Bazen de hayatı sadece yaşayıp mutlu olmak gerekir. Bir sonraki bölümde görüşmek üzere, hoşça kalın.